like we are. I wake up in the morning and I go my knees and pray.
Hello familia! Welcome to another coffee break with Kay. I have my coffee here ready. I hope you have yours ready because we're about to get into a very special subject. And it's something that I've been very passionate about and it's been in my heart for a really long time. So I'm super excited to start this topic and just talk about kind of my experiences and my relationship with this specific topic, which is called self-love. So self-love and I've had a very eventful relationship. A relationship filled with many ups, many downs. It's really been a roller coaster. But where I want to begin with this video and talking about self-love is really what it means to love oneself, or what self-love is definition based, and then what I think when I read this definition. So to start off, defining what self-love is, it is regard for one's own well-being and happiness. So when I read that, I really reflected on it and it really made me think a lot more in a deeper way of what self-love really is, because self-love is kind of very explanatory. It just really means how much you love yourself, the love that you have for yourself, right? But when I read this definition, it really got me thinking that the way that I love myself and the way that I see myself has really an impact in everything that I do. Whether it's my well-being, whether it's my happiness, whether it's those around me, whether it's that environment that's around me, school, work, everything has an impact, and it all starts with loving yourself. Which is why I think it's such an important topic to talk about and why I really wanted to make this one of my first videos, because I know how important it is and how much it affects. So I wanted to talk to you guys about my story, a little bit about my relationship with self-love, and kind of what got me to where I am today with myself and the way that I think of myself. And then kind of the importance of self-love and why it's so important that we focus on it and take time to actually spend with ourselves and learn how to love ourselves, as well as some key things that I've personally done to be able to increase my self-love and be able to love myself every day more and more. So a little bit about my story is, if you guys know me, you guys know that I'm a very social person. I can go and have a conversation with anyone. That's just who I am. But if you didn't know me back then, when I was younger and when I was in Honduras, I was actually such an introvert. Like, if you were to tell me that today I would be filming this video in front of a camera to post it for millions of people to watch, hopefully one day, I would have never believed it. Honestly, I would have probably laughed and just said, good joke. Because you could not make me go and stand in public and have a conversation with someone, whether it's in public or just a random stranger. I would have not been able to do that. Even if the topic was something that I was very passionate about, I was just not comfortable public speaking at all. And I think it all really came down to the fact that I wasn't really self-aware. I wasn't fully aware of who I was. I wasn't fully knowledgeable about who I was or who I am. So it really affected how I interacted with people, how I interacted with my environment, how I interacted with myself even. It just really affected everything that I did. I would really let everything kind of pass by and I would not really hold any grudges or anything like that. So people would kind of take advantage of me. It was a rough time for me because I feel like I wasn't self-aware, but then I began getting bullied and things like that, so it just made me get into this deeper self-conscious and just always doubting myself mentality that it wasn't really healthy for me. But the only way that I actually was able to get out of it was when I moved to Canada. And when I moved to Canada, it was kind of like a fresh start. It was something that I think I really needed, because I needed to step out of my comfort zone and be able to do things that made me uncomfortable. So for example, because I was the new girl, I had to go and approach new people, and I didn't have any friends that were my age or anything like that, so I really needed to step out of that comfort zone and be uncomfortable and doing new things. So it really got me to change from being a very introverted child and very to myself to being a very extroverted person. And my change was having people around me that were supportive of me and would always reassure me of who I was. So my brother, my sister, my parents really did that for me throughout my years, and even till now. My mom's like my #1 supporter. And so is my brother when he doesn't interrupt my videos. If you saw my story on Instagram. But essentially, like, I had all these people that would always support me, and they would always bring me up whenever I was feeling down. Whenever I was being bullied back home, my brother would always call me and reassure me of who I was. The reason why I think it's so important with self-love is that no matter how much someone tells you, hey, you're amazing, you can't really acknowledge what they're saying and let it impact your life the way that it's supposed to impact if you don't feel it yourself. So if you don't feel like you're amazing, then when somebody tells you you're amazing, you're going to start doubting their comment, right? So you're going to start saying, oh, they're just saying that to be nice, or they're just saying that because they don't know me really who I am. So that's when really the importance of self-love comes in, because then people will be able to give you compliments and be able to help you in the ways that they're supposed to help you. So high school was a very roller coaster as well. I think throughout high school I really got to learn a new part of who I was, of who I was meant to be, and kind of the calling that was on my life. I was taking more leadership roles at school and things like that. So it really helped me a lot with being able to develop those skills to be able to lead different teenagers and just help them out of different circumstances that maybe they're going through. That's something that I went through, right? But it was always, I never really fully got to know myself. And I knew who I was, but I feel like it was only until the past year and a half or year and a bit that I truly got to truly know myself. And confidence, I like to say that it's the end result of self-love. So if you love yourself, you're gonna demonstrate that with confidence. However, there is two different types of confidence. #1 is the outwardly confident person. So someone that is very confident and other people are like, oh yeah, that person is so confident, you can see it because of the way that they carry themselves. And then there's also the inward confidence. And for that is just you're inwardly confident with who you are as a person. So that is just you, and you are the only ones that really know. I've always struggled with that balance between the two, and I think I've always been stronger on the outwardly confident than on the inwardly confident. I don't think I've been very inwardly confident until the past year, and even though everybody that would look at me and they would see me or just have an interaction with me would always or would sometimes say a comment like, hey, you are very confident, like I can see that in who you are and how you carry yourself. But that's not how I always saw myself. People would always be like, oh, you have really good style, or you're really pretty and things like that. And in my head I'm like, really? Like, I don't see it, but okay, thanks, you know? So that's where really your self-love really comes in and has an impact in who you are and how you carry yourself, but also how you treat yourself in those one-on-one interactions between yourself when no one else is around. Over the past year, I think I've really learned to really truly love myself for who I am, because I've gotten and taken the time to get to know myself in a deeper way. I think it's so important for you to actually get to know who you are as a person, because the more you know yourself, the more you see your worth, the more you see your value, the more you see that, hey, I'm not good at this, but I'm super good at this, you know? So it's like, even though we're not perfect and we're not gonna be good at everything that we do, we have certain things that we're good at and we're passionate about, so that's what we wanna focus on the positive things of you, your strengths. Obviously still work on your weaknesses, but never focus on just the weaknesses and being like, oh, well, I can't fix a car, so I'm not good enough, you know? I think there's the positive thinking in self-love that will really impact your way of being and the positive things that you see in life. So why it's important, you'll ask. Okay, so there's many different reasons why I think self-love is truly very important. But #1, I feel like the moment that you truly love yourself is the moment that you're gonna have a higher standard for yourself. So you will no longer let anyone just treat you however they want to treat you, because you put a value of how you want to be treated and how you treat yourself for others to match or surpass, if that makes sense. So if you know that, hey, someone treating you like a secondary option is not the way that you treat yourself, then you're not going to allow that to happen. So if somebody starts treating you that way, you're just going to leave, you know? So knowing your worth and knowing your value and just learning how to love yourself will be able to give you a higher standard so that you won't be able to settle, so that no one will be able to sweep you off your feet. Sorry, my Spanish was coming in there. Sweep you off your feet and just make you settle for something that you know you don't deserve. Number two, I think it also changes your perspective on the world. So I think it makes you become more positive in the way that you think, in the way that you interact with people, in the way that you interact with your environment. Instead of seeing this cup as half empty, you're gonna see it as half full. And I know that's such a cliche quote that everybody uses, but I honestly believe that when you're looking at any circumstances that you're in, you're gonna see the positive things that are happening. Hey, maybe I'm going through this breakup, yes, but this breakup really made me realize that I'm worthy of more than this. Or maybe, hey, this person really taught me how to love myself, or this person really taught me how to be independent, or whatever the case is. So every circumstance that you go through, there's a reason for it. So seeing all of the good, positive reasons for that circumstances instead of always focusing on the negative will really make you change your whole perspective on life and how you see things. As well as I really think it increases your whole health overall. It really impacts your body, your mind, your spirit, everything. And when you are truly in love with yourself, it's gonna help how you love and you treat your body, as well as it's gonna help you how you treat your spirit as well. But most importantly, and I cannot stress this enough, the moment that you love yourself and you truly have a genuine loving relationship with yourself, your mental health is gonna increase to the next level. No more anxiety, no more feeling down or doubting yourself. That will never happen again, because you're just so aware and you're just so in love with who you are that nothing like that will ever impact it. Now, a few ways that have helped me over the past year and over my lifetime being able to love myself more and more every day. Number one is really putting myself as a priority. So I know that life will get really busy and we will lose time and just be so involved in other different things that we have to do, whether it's work, school, socializing with our friends, or just serving in ministry, or just extracurriculars that you do. But really taking a time and making it a thing every single week at least that you're gonna spend some time with yourself. And if you're religious, then you and God time. Just some time that you'll be able to focus on yourself, to better yourself, to get to know yourself in the deepest of ways. Because sometimes, yes, we know who we are, we know the surface level of what we're meant to be doing or what we're doing in life or where we're going and things like that, but we don't truly take the time to get to know us in a deep way, that no matter what anybody were to tell us, we know who we are. So no matter what you say, it's like, I know who I am and it doesn't affect me. Which takes me to my point number two, which is thinking highly of yourself. So the moment that you start thinking of yourself in a certain way and giving yourself that value and that worth, everyone else will be doing it as well. Because when you see somebody valuing themselves, that, hey, for example, I'll give you a very good example. I actually hate swearing, and if you know me and you swear, you know that I'll tell you, hey, language, every time that you say a bad word. So it's become a thing that anybody that's around me now will do it automatically. Let's say that a swear word comes out of my mouth and I'm around, they're like, oh, sorry, Catherine, you know? I've placed that expectation over my friends that, hey, if you're around me, like, take the time to, like, think about what you're saying instead of, like, just saying the swear word right away, because they know I just don't like it. So giving yourself that worth, it's obviously not the same type of example, but just giving yourself that value or just placing yourself in a certain level will make other people place you in that same level and treat you the same way. As well as getting to know yourself. So going back to what I said in point number one as well, is we know ourselves to a certain degree, but sometimes we don't take enough time to get to know us. Just as we get to know someone that we're about to date or someone that we're about to befriend or our family members, we have to take that exact same time and that exact same passion to get to know someone, to get to know ourselves. Because the more you get to know yourself, the more you'll be able to get to know about who you are, what you want to do in life, where you want to go, where you see yourself in the next few years. But also, it takes me to point number 4. It will get you to know your worth, your value, all the strengths that you bring, all the things that you bring to the table, all the things that you bring to your workplace, all the things that you bring to that group project, you know? You'll get to know about yourself, all the things that you're good at, all the things that maybe you need to work on, but it will help you be able to see all of that and know where to go after that. And number 5 is also, I think it's very important to accept the fact that not everybody's gonna like you, not everybody's gonna vibe with you, and that is totally fine, because we're all different human beings. We're all different, we have very different personality types, but it doesn't mean that we can't respect each other and we can't be nice to each other. It just means that we're not going to be as close, you know? So just knowing that when they say something, it can really be just because they're acting out of your emotions. So not taking too hard of what people say will really help you, especially when you really know yourself, but you won't let it affect you as much. I think it's very important to accept feedback as well and listening to what others have to say, because sometimes, yes, we know ourselves and we know who we are, but maybe the way that you address that situation wasn't the appropriate way, or maybe the way that you made that person feel, that's not your intention, but you didn't know that that's how you made them feel. So accepting that feedback and always constantly working on yourself and trying to improve who you are will really help you and get you to the next level and get you to really be comfortable in who you are, but also knowing that we're not perfect, so we all have room for improvement and being able to take that feedback and work on it. And lastly, but definitely not least, I think if you start looking at life in a very positive way, I really think that it's gonna influence how you see yourself as well. So the more you see the positive in life, the more you'll see the positive in yourself, and the more you'll be able to start loving yourself and being able to see all the good things that you have, because you do have really good things. And I'm sure that you might not think so, but those that are around you will be able to see, hey, you're amazing at this, and don't see yourself for all of your weaknesses, but try to see yourself as all of your strengths. So yeah, it's something that I've always had in my heart, and something that I'm really passionate about and I'm an advocate for, is really self-love and bringing your self-esteem to another level, so being able to be more comfortable within yourself and who you are as a person. So I really hope that this video helped you, and we're going to have a lot of more videos like this throughout this series, so stay tuned and get excited for the next video because it's going to be awesome. I hope you guys enjoyed this coffee break with me, and hope to see you guys soon. Enjoy the rest of your coffee if you have some, like me, because I did a lot of talking. So I'm going to finish this, but I'll see you guys soon.
I'm not perfect.